Welcome to a special edition of Way or No Way. It's the finale of our Sins of O.M.I.T reviews. And we're going to take a look at the final issue. And hopefully it's not going to suck as much as I think it is.
This is the worst piece of crap I've ever read in my life! God!
If I'm going to rip this thing a new asshole, I'm going to need some help. And I know just the person to call. He's been waiting for a chance like this. Oh yes, he's been waiting for you.
Hey. Dante, at your service.
Hey Dante!
Oh, hey, right away, it's you.
I'm reviewing O.M.I.T Part 4! You want to come over and help me rip it a new asshole?
You want me to come over and review One Moment in Time? You want me to help you trash Joe Quesada? Oh, I'd love to. I'll be right over. Oh yeah. You're going down, Quesada!
Awesome! Come quick! I can barely contain my rage, alternate, crazy laughter.
Ah! Where is it? Where is the vile comic? It is there! Ah!
Hello folks, I'm Dante from Dante's Den, where movies are sacred, and I am here guest starring with Right of Way on Sins of O.M.I.T 4. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Because, seriously, no one person can stand this shite! 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 That is...
Scheisse!
Especially O.M.I.T issue 4.
It is the culmination of crap that is this entire storyline. It rivals One More Day in terms of character assassination, story development, and overall stupidity and failing in logic.
Indeed. Just to give you guys a quick little recap of the O.M.I.T storyline, Joe Quesada, the editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics, decided he just couldn't leave well enough alone. He had to pick and pull and literally rip the scab that was starting to form over Spider-Man thanks to One More Day.
Really, we were beginning to let go a little bit.
You might have. Me, I just quit the title altogether.
It was one of those things where you knew it had happened. There was nothing you could do about it. It happened. It was just absolutely just god awful, and you were beginning to not forget and not forgive, definitely not forgive, but you were beginning to tolerate it. You're beginning to live with it. It's kind of like hitting yourself in the head or burning yourself repeatedly over and over until your nerves completely die out and you feel no pain. It's pretty much just like
Going absolutely numb.
yeah, the pain
Well-
the pain of that story just started to drive people absolutely numb. But he goes and he starts to reopen the wound.
Yeah, well, he succeeded in just pulling the whole frickin' scab off and letting the wound bleed with issue 4 here. Just to give you guys a quick little recap of the storyline so far, this is the big explanation, folks. This is supposed to explain why Peter and MJ are not married in the current continuity. In issue 1, we find out Peter missed their marriage because he was hit on the head with a cinder block and had a fat guy fall on top of him.
Both of which are absolutely impossible, not just for people who try to pick up a cinder block and throw it at a guy who's 10, 15 feet above their head.
But where is Spider-Man's magic,
Spider sense.
yeah, his spider sense that usually...
His spider sense is not... It apparently just decided to take a coffee break.
Yeah. Issue 2 had the fallout of this, and Peter and MJ deciding that they will stay together, but they won't get married.
That's right, folks. You don't have to have a marriage because all that is made for is for baby making. That's right.
Apparently.
That's right. All you folks have to do when you get married is start screwing and having babies.
Yeah. So, and this was, of course, Joe Quesada's lame
Emphasize lame.
excuse to keep saying that all the issues of Amazing Spider-Man that depicted Peter and MJ as a couple still existed. We just now have to self-edit all those issues into they were living together.
He asks way too much.
Right. Issue 3 was brought us up to... actually, did issue 2 get us all the way to the Civil War thing?
Actually, I think it did.
Yeah,
It
issue
did.
2 actually ended with
Aunt May.
Aunt May
being
getting-
brought back to life through
By
CPR
C-
and the
by-
power of love.
Yeah. Issue 3 is actually where that whole power of love crap came into play, and actually ended with Eddie Muerte, real frickin' subtle Quesada, Muerte, death. Oh God. Okay, I read that comic in the store because I absolutely refused to buy it. But I'm serious. That panel where he's got her down on the ground and he pulls the trigger before Spider-Man shows up, that, for all intents and purposes, means to me that MJ was shot and Peter took her to Doctor Strange for help. Okay, Doctor Strange in this series, he is incapable, once again, folks, of curing a 60-year-old woman of a gunshot wound, but apparently he can cure another woman of a gunshot wound and laugh it off as a concussion. I'm sorry, Quesada, but you do not get a bye with that, but we'll go into that later. So, Peter now decides, okay, this is too much. I must undo the revealing of myself, so he asks Doctor Strange to mind wipe the entire freaking planet of the knowledge that he is Spider-Man.
And that is where we begin in this issue.
But
sorry to interrupt, but we begin with Doctor Strange and Tony Stark and Reed Richards all discussing the moral and ethical dilemma of mind wiping the entirety of the planet. Of course, these are the same people who launched the Incredible Hulk into space, set up the circumstances for Civil War to begin with, and not only that, crap, what else did they do? Oh yeah, they provided the DNA and the stuff that the Skrulls needed to start the secret invasion in the first place. So they kicked that off too.
Oh, and don't forget, there at least 2 of them are responsible for Clore.
Oh
The clone of Thor. Seriously, these guys are wrestling with the moral implications of mind wiping the entire frickin' planet of the knowledge that Peter is Spider-Man. These guys have already broken that moral ground about 1,000,000 times over.
It's kind of like a serial murderer losing his piss over jaywalking.
Yeah! I mean, seriously, it's like the Manhattan Project scientists debating the moral implications of creating the atomic bomb after they dropped both of them on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It is lame, it is retarded, it is hack writing.
Absolute
and it's
100% hack.
And it's all filler. That's all it is. These guys having this conversation because you already know they make the decision to do it.
Exactly. We don't even need to have the discussion about why Peter should face up to his responsibilities, which is actually probably the only line in that whole thing that made sense.
Yeah, we know they're going to do it because guess what? That's what's going on now, at least according to this comic book. They did make the decision to wipe the frickin' world of the knowledge of him as Spider-Man. So seriously, why does this sequence have to go on so frackin' long?
And not to mention that, I mean, you have the interspersed parts with Peter and MJ in the past and Peter and MJ in the present.
Yeah.
And Peter's talking about, I can't, I have to do this for you, MJ. I have to do this for you. What about your Aunt May?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, has nobody ever stopped to think, he's perfectly okay with MJ living with the secret, but he's also fine with lying to his aunt again?
Yeah. Yeah, this issue brings back the whiny cry baby Peter. Yeah. After, 3 years of the other writers of Spider-Man sorta kinda trying to get away from that particular depiction of Peter, Quesada brings him back full bore. And yeah, he is boring. This whiny little pissant who is calling himself Peter Parker is back, and he's, I have to hold on. I can't let go. I can't live without my Aunt May. I can't live without my Mary Jane too. There is no life without her. Oh my God. Which of course leads to the most overly melodramatic moment in this entire frackin' comic book. Mm-hmm. Doctor Strange comes back and says, yes, I will, we will wipe the earth clean of all the knowledge, and everybody who is not within this sphere will not remember that you are Spider-Man. And Peter Peter at the last moment just can't do it. He can't have Mary Jane. He can't live without her. Can't live without her not knowing who he is. And so he pulls her in, and of course, she remembers everything. So then we get... So everything should be hunky-dory, right? Everything should be fine, right? Right. And wrong! Indeed. And it's not. And now, of course, we get the reappearance of... first we have the reappearance of whiny pissant Peter. Now we get whiny Mary Jane, who bemoans the fact that she wishes Peter had erased her knowledge of him as Spider-Man, and how she just can't take it anymore. She's not strong enough to be his girlfriend. She wishes she didn't remember he was Spider-Man. Who are these people? Yeah, seriously, it makes you want to blow your freaking brains out. This is so retarded. Yeah, save it for a better time. It's not worth it, man. It ain't worth it. Joe Quesada is not worth ending your life over. You're right. So, of course, long-ass flashback. By the way, and cheaply done flashback. Yeah, Quesada, I don't know what you're thinking. Reprinting the artwork you did for One More Day here right now. Oh, I bet you thought it was clever and all that crap, but no, it's cheap. It's cheap. It's lazy. It is stupid. Lazy. It is lazy. Yeah. The problem with people is that the problem with most people is that they think this is all a bunch of whiny fanboys getting all ass sore about Spider-Man. This
This is not about Spider-Man. This is about an editor-in-chief who doesn't have the common goddamn decency to give us a good story, and if he's gonna rewrite the rules of a comic book and redo something of a character, he should give us a good story. He didn't. He didn't give us even a decent story. I mean, if
He gave us a lazy story.
it's not even lazy. It's not just lazy. It's stupid. It is crap. It is editorial mandate dripping from every single page, every single bit, every panel, every stupid sentence that MJ puts out is editorially mandated. I mean,
This is not how these characters talk. They have been reduced. They have been stripped of being characters. All they are is mouthpieces. All they are is Joe Quesada using them to spout off his rhetoric of what Spider-Man should be.
from issue one of this garbage.
Yeah! And of course, it ends on one of the most unbelievably lame-ass moments ever in the Spider-Man canon. I swear to you all, down the road, 20 years from now, when they are, let's see, actually not even that, 2 years, 3 years from now, 2013, when they are celebrating the 50th anniversary of Spider-Man, they will look back on this and claim it as one of the most asinine, one of the most ridiculous, and one of the lamest moments in the character's history!
Bar none.
Yes,
Absolutely bar none.
when Mary Jane says, "Oh, I wasn't strong enough to be your girlfriend, but that girl is out there. You just have to go. I release you. I release you to go and find her.
You're free. You're free now. You're free from the burden of having to pine after me." I'm sorry, was he trying to be subtle? Was he really trying to be subtle and saying that you fans, it's never going to happen. Peter Parker and Mary Jane are never going to be together again.
Never.
You're free. You
You're
can
free.
You can worry about something else now.
Yeah, we're free to... What? What, Quesada? We're free to have another batch of stories where Peter worries about revealing his secret identity to a new girlfriend? Another batch of stories where Peter worries constantly about how his new girlfriend's life will be affected by his forays as Spider-Man? Another batch of frickin' stories where Peter considers quitting being Spider-Man because of his new girlfriend and the danger his life as Spider-Man causes her?
More batches of stories about whether he's gonna save his aunt or save the city. More stories about his girlfriend possibly finding out. I mean, more stories about him losing a girlfriend because of his activities as Spider-Man.
Yeah. You keep saying this is a brand new day, a brand new direction for Spider-Man. No, it isn't. It is not.
Brand new day. It's the same old shit.
Yes! You did not make Spider-Man go forward. You regressed him. You sent him back 30 years. This is not 2010, at least not according to you. You obviously think this is 1980. You literally took Spider-Man from where he was. You took him back to 1980. Where he was then! I mean, seriously, that's what this freaking comic book feels like. Especially now. I mean, Mary Jane is out of the picture. There's a new girl. By the way, if Carly Cooper is supposed to be Spider-Man's new love, I got a newsflash for you, buddy. She ain't freaking original. She's a warmed over, reheated version of Deborah Whitman!
Just stick glasses on her, blonde hair. There you go. Deborah Whitman.
Yeah!
Only less crazy.
Yeah, well, slightly less crazy. I mean, seriously, Deborah Whitman wasn't that crazy back in 1980. She got crazier as it went along.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I think that's when she found out that Peter was Spider-Man.
Something like that. But seriously, this comic and this whole series is just absolute. And I don't normally actually swear in my reviews, but this calls for it. This is utter shit. It is.
S-bomb.
Yes.
I mean, there are no words. There really are no words for this.
There are no words. There are no words. There is emotion, and the emotion is nothing but anger. I mean,
pure, unadulterated rage.
Yeah.
That is the best emotion. That is the only emotion a person can have with this thing. Rage.
Rage.
I mean, even though I've actually read people's comments about it, actually praising it, saying it's brilliant, it's wonderful storytelling, it's a brand new direction for Spider-Man. Personally, I want to punch those people in the fucking mouth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, a brand new, brave direction for Spider-Man. Okay, so your idea of a brave, brand new direction for Spider-Man is that he is now a whiny little biatch? He is such a freaking loser? He makes Ross on Friends look like a winner? Seriously? That's your new direction for Spider-Man?
And that wouldn't even, I mean, that's not even enough. That's not even enough. Considering what he's gone through in this issue, and take into account everything that's happened to him since. Lost his job, Daily Bugle burned down, is now blacklisted for actually trying to help J. Jonah Jameson, and not only that, I mean, in the current story he's going in right now, he's having an army of supervillains chase him because he's trying to bring over Norman Osborn's kid.
And by the way, yeah, you just brought up something. By the way, Quesada, you claimed this story was supposed to explain the world of Brand New Day. So how come you left out the two biggest questions besides, so how come they didn't get married? Why the hell is Harry Osborn walking around among the living in this world now?
How is that possible again? I mean, what? You're saying the Goblin Serum? You're saying the Goblin Serum healed him? Bullshit! That's what killed him!
Yes! Can't you read your own stupid comic books? I mean, seriously, in issue 2, you had MJ compare her relationship with Spider-Man to her abusive relationship with her father. I'm sorry, Quesada, but MJ didn't really have an abusive relationship with her father. If you bothered to read Amazing Spider-Man 257, I believe that was the issue number, you would see that for all of his drunken antics, Philip Watson did not physically abuse MJ. The only one of his daughters he actually physically abused was her sister Gail. And she forgave him years later in another issue for that crap. Of course, it was after she sent him to prison, but she did forgive him.
And so, not only that, she forgave him, and that was one of the conditions that she did in order to marry Peter in the first place.
Yeah. So
it was only after she forgave him that she agreed to marry Peter.
Actually, no, it wasn't.
It wasn't?
Yeah, she forgave him afterwards.
Oh.
Yeah, she forgave Philip afterwards after she had actually sent him to prison. It was sending him to prison that gave her the strength to marry Peter. And that's something else, Kasai. You portray her as being not having the strength to marry Spider-Man or to be his girlfriend. Okay, so let's see. She, before you got a hold of her, she had the strength to send her own father to prison, help talk her sister out of a life behind bars. She had the strength to fight, to actually attack a spider slayer. You know those big freaking robots that are designed to kill Spider-Man? She had the guts to fight one of those. She had the guts to escape a guy who kidnapped her. Spider-Man didn't save her from that one. She escaped on her own.
She actually managed to beat the Chameleon up. She beat up Kraven the Hunter's brother when he tried to take her on as Peter Parker.
She fought off demons during Inferno without Spider-Man. For, 2-3 whole issues, she's on her own. She has to actually coordinate an entire group of people, because she's locked away on a photo shoot when the demons attack. And she takes command. She takes control. She gets them to organize and find a way to escape. She is strong enough to do all this.
And yet, one thug puts a gun to her head and threatens to kill her family, and all of a sudden, her spine goes the way of disco.
Yeah. She turns to jelly because a freaking fat dude in a luchador mask threatens her. Oh, God. You fundamentally do not... I mean, seriously, Quesada.
You fail on every level.
You failed on every level.
Every single level.
This is not the story of Peter and MJ. This is your diatribe on your version of Spider-Man. And to be perfectly honest, your version of Spider-Man sucks. You drove me away from Spider-Man. I have refused to buy an issue of Amazing Spider-Man since you did all this. And you know what? Now, I did that when you did One More Day. Now that you have done this crap, I don't want to buy Spider-Man anymore. I don't care what you do. You can bring back the marriage. You can have them have kids. You can have them have 1,000,000 kids. I don't care. I will never buy Amazing Spider-Man comics ever again. And I was buying them since I was 5 years old. I learned how to reading Spider-Man comics. That is what you have done, Quesada. You have turned a man who was a die-hard Spider-Man fan. And I mean die-hard. I got Tobey Maguire to sign a poster for Spider-Man 2 to read to, well, it doesn't say Dante, but it says my other alias, the greatest Spider-Man fan, Tobey Maguire. That's what I wanted, and he gave it to me. And you, Quesada, have turned me off from my favorite character, because he's not my favorite character anymore. He's not the guy I read about since I was 5. That guy is not a whiny little pissant. He is a man of responsibility. He is a man, Quesada.
He is a man!
Yeah, you have stripped the man out of Spider-Man. You guys should just start calling that comic book you're writing right now The Amazing Spider Boy or The Amazing Spider Wimp, because that's who he is now. He's not the Amazing Spider-Man.
And not only that, really, with this on top of One More Day, you've effectively destroyed any kind of relatability to Peter Parker. I mean, okay, so what's the relatability here? You make a deal with, for all intents and purposes, Satan.
Yeah.
To sell your marriage down the river. Okay, disregarding issue 1, where he throws MJ over under the bus and makes it so that it's her fault. I mean, my God. I mean, disregarding that, he wouldn't. You don't. A superhero does not sell his marriage to the devil. No matter what. Because they know that 1, a devil's going to screw them out of it, and 2, it's the wrong thing to do, and 3, Aunt May wanted to die anyway. She wanted to be reunited with Ben in heaven. But no, you had to write him to be selfish. Now, speaking as a person who had a family member die of cancer, would I give anything to have my dad back? Fuck yes! Fuck yes, I would. But I also know that when it was his time, and there was nothing anybody could do about it, and I accept it as a man. That is what a man does. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it sucks. But that is what a man does. You, Quesada, do not know how to write a man.
Yeah.
You damn sure don't know how to write a woman.
Yeah, seriously. I would like to know something, Quesada. Personal question from me. Who is she? Who is the redhead? Who's the redhead who obviously walked all over your heart? Because I swear to God, you have been pissing on all the redheads in the Marvel Universe ever since you became the editor-in-chief. What do you have against redheads? seriously, Carly Cooper, the girl you keep touting as Peter's eventual new love interest, she's not a redhead. I mean, all the redheads in the freaking Marvel U have basically gotten either depowered, given, killed, eaten, Firestar's a great example. I mean, she's been depowered, retired, given cancer, had the cancer taken away, given the cancer again. I mean, seriously.
Wasn't she given cancer by her own costume?
No, it was
Or
her own
something?
powers.
Her
own powers were giving her cancer. I mean, seriously.
That's kind of, I mean,
It's
like Aquaman drowning in the tub.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. Who is she, Quesada? Who is... Because that's the only thing I can think of. I mean, this rampant hatred of redheads you have right now. I'm no Freud or Jung here, but seriously, is that what it is? I mean, was there like some redhead in high school who just ripped your heart out and walked all over it? And so now you've decided to take out your vengeance on every single freaking redhead in the Marvel U?
And not only that, I mean, are you so absolutely opposed to marriage that in interviews you've actually said that marriage is akin to growing old and dying? I'm glad. I bet your wife is happy to hear about that.
Yeah, you still kiss your wife with that mouth, Quesada? Seriously, I would think you'd have to wash your mouth out with bleach after saying stuff like that before you kissed your wife.
Screw bleach. Try lie.
Yeah, no kidding.
But in the end, it's really all about a matter of a man trying to tell a story and ending up writing 4 issues of fan fiction.
Yeah, you and Brevroot, you wrote a horrible piece of fan fiction. And I know Brevroot was in on it because guess what? It's so freaking obvious that's him in issue 3. Not to mention the fact you just had to go and draw Peter exactly looking like you. Seriously? You had to go and do that? God, do you really think you're Peter Parker? Do you really think you're Spider-Man, Quesada?
Well, I mean, if that's the case, then I must be Peter Parker. I mean, really, I've got the brown hair, I've got the glasses, I'm a little bit pudgy, but I can work on that. Hey, I can be Peter Parker too. All I need is a redhead who I need to absolutely just completely trash all over.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I read Spider-Man from the time I was 5. I empathized with Peter Parker. Peter Parker was like, he wasn't me. I mean, I knew I was me, but I empathized with Peter. I could understand him. I could understand the whole he wins and he loses kind of dynamic of the character. That's what made him relatable.
Yeah, he wasn't Captain America. He wasn't Clark Kent. He wasn't Bruce Wayne. He wasn't Tony Stark.
Yeah.
He was a perfectly relatable guy. He was an everyman.
Yeah, this is what Stan Lee said. He said, Peter has problems. He has problems like everyone else. There's a ginormous difference between problems and being a complete and utter loser! And you have clearly forgotten that, Quesada, because seriously, all you seem to want to do is write Peter as a loser, and I don't get that. Especially since you want to draw him as you. How are you a loser, Quesada? I mean, seriously, you're the editor-in-chief of Marvel. You're now the creative chief of Marvel Entertainment, which means you get to jam your sick, twisted, insane notions of the Marvel characters down a whole new generation's throats with the movies and the TV shows and the whatevers you guys got coming at you, coming out of your Marvel Entertainment.
Yeah.
So,
and really, not to mention, the whole basis of Marvel, the whole thing that was supposed to separate it from the DC Universe was that these are real people with real problems. That they're supposed to be more realistic. Now, what's realistic about selling your marriage to Satan? What's realistic about anything that has happened to Peter Parker in the past couple of years?
None. Hell, this is...
I mean, is he losing his job just to relate to people who are is losing his job like supposed to relate to people who are losing their jobs in the recession? Well, that's great, Joe, but there's one little flaw in your one little flaw in your thought process there. if they're unemployed during the recession, they're not going to have money to buy the books to relate to Peter Parker, you stupid son of a bitch!
Indeed. And by the way, if this was your... and by the way, you keep saying, oh, well, we had to make him younger and more relatable to younger viewers. Okay. Yeah, the younger viewers, Joe, they're not out there. They're buying the freaking Harry Potter books and the Harry Potter movies. And, I mean, seriously, the average... if you were expecting, like, a mountain of preteens and whatevers to suddenly embrace Spider-Man because of what you did, I got a newsflash for you. They all bypassed Spider-Man and bought frickin' Twilight!
You see what you did? You see what you did there? You gave Twilight credibility.
Yeah.
You gave him their fan base.
Yeah.
You bastard!
Yeah, seriously. That mountain of teenagers you were expecting to start reading Spider-Man comics are now reading frickin' Twilight!
You have made this worse than Twilight. That, I will have to say, I am impressed.
Yeah.
I am impressed. You
Yeah.
actually managed to create a story that is worse than a story about glittering vampires
Yeah.
and werewolves who don't wear shirts.
Yeah, Spider-Man is less relatable than that now! Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
And
This whole freaking brand new day universe. Yeah, I know you guys say it's coming to an end soon, but still, this is not the Spider-Man universe I grew up reading. It doesn't matter anymore. Nothing in the comic matters. That's your biggest screw up, Quesada. You removed the whole notion of things mattering in Spider-Man.
well, not only that, and he brought this up in his Cup of Joe argument or interview in CBR.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about how MJ's sacrifices and everything aren't really the machinations and failings of a whiny, spineless twat. They're actually heroic. They're actually the actions of a hero. They're moral decisions, and not only that, he says that she beat Mephisto at his own game by having him agree to the deal.
If she beat him at his own game, this whole stupid storyline wouldn't exist in the first place, Joe!
Exactly. If she'd beaten Mephisto at his own game, he wouldn't have the marriage. He's still got it.
Yeah! He still won! Although, ironically, considering all of this crap is supposed to be Mephisto's doing, he is not even in this stupid-ass story arc, except for possibly one little red bird. Unless, of course...
Which they've pretty much confirmed was Mephisto, or
So-
at least Mephisto guiding it to the thing.
Right.
But according to this, everything else has been Peter or MJ or whatever.
Yeah,
And
so...
really just, oh god.
So
Maybe this man.
so the devil just has to have a bird open up a cage, and suddenly everything falls apart. That's how solid this new universe you've created is. Seriously.
So really, all you have to do is go back in time and snipe a red pigeon.
Yeah, basically. And you're calling what MJ has done heroic? Oh god, that is just you trying. That is just a cop out. That is you want an example of MJ being heroic? You want a real example of MJ being heroic, Quesada? You should have checked out the Spider-Girl comic where, let's see, it was Norman Osborn II tried to become the new Green Goblin, and he actually attacked MJ in her office building. He's a full-blown, out of his mind guy in a freaking superhero costume, and he's probably got special powers. And what does she do? She doesn't talk him out of it. She grabs a freaking lamp and smashes it right in his face. She knocks him out of the freaking office. You want an example of a heroic MJ? That's an example of a heroic MJ. Not this whole, she's heroic because she tricked Mephisto. That's bull! That is absolute bull! You're just trying to cover your tracks. You're trying to pretend you're not some sexist, misogynist, absolute hater of redheads.
Not only that, where is the part where she tricked him? I mean, what, the part of the timeline where they don't make the deal? That's supposed to be the part where she tricked him? If that's the case, if the deal was never made, how did it happen?
Yeah.
Time travel does not work that way. It is not Lego blocks. It is not something you can just, draw on a chalkboard like you're Dr. Frickin' Brown.
Right. And by the way, if that was some lame-ass attempt by you to try and keep those of us who were hanging around hoping the marriage would come back, and you're saying, well, maybe, Mephisto just has to show up, and then everything will be negated, and everything will be all right. I don't care.
Peter, we'll be together. We'll always be together sometime. We'll be, and this is in one more day, which basically you took a big flaming pile of crap on.
Yeah.
I mean, that one line, you just flat out said, you just flat out told the people, it's like, okay, you know what that whole thing about Mary Jane saying that her and Peter are destined to be together? Yeah, I lied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't care, Quesada. We don't care.
At this point, no. At this point, just no.
Yeah. You are a liar. You are a hack. I have no clue what your record as a husband is, but I seriously wonder. So, this is not a comic. This is a waste of a tree. That's what this is.
It's a waste of trees. It's a waste of eyes. It's a waste of life.
Yeah, that's what this is. Just, you have destroyed Spider-Man and Mary Jane. You have. If that was what your goal was, congratulations, mission accomplished. You have destroyed them. Those people that are running around the current Spider-Man comics, that's not them. That's not them.
They might as well be Skrulls.
Yeah, they might as well be. You might as well have a freaking issue arc where it's revealed that this isn't them, that freaking Mephisto took a couple people who wanted to be them all and turned them into them, because this is not them.
No.
These are not the people that actually you could give a crap about. And really, what is the point of giving a crap about this comic anyway? You have proven beyond a shadow of doubt that anything that happens in this comic can be undone.
Not only that, I mean, you've clearly shown that you have no regard for what the fans want.
Yeah.
You have no regard for what your fans, the consumers, the people who pay your salary do or want. You don't care what they want. I mean, people have been screaming for 2 years, 2 years, for this to go away. You wouldn't do it. You stuck to your guns. And while a person can respect somebody for sticking to their guns, what I don't respect is the condescension, the sheer stupidity, and the fact that you tout these issues, not just one moment in time, but one more day, as something like the greatest stories in the history of Spider-Man. They're not. They are the dumbest pieces of progressive narration I have ever read. Yeah. And that is saying something.
The only thing they outdo, Quesada, the only thing they outdo is the Clone Saga. And I'm not saying that as a good thing. I'm saying they are worse than the Clone Saga. The Clone Saga, as bloated and as stupid as it was, actually might have worked. This doesn't work.
There's no way that this could have worked. Yeah. Under the premise of what you were asking, MJ and Peter dissolving their marriage in a single story arc, that could not have worked.
Yeah.
If you were going to do it, you should have done it over a couple of years, or at least a few months of a well-done story, of a well-written story arc with their characters intact. But no, you couldn't wait. You couldn't wait to have them dismantled. So you decided you were going to throw a Hail Frickin' Mary and just have Mephisto wipe out the marriage altogether. You know, good story be damned.
Yeah. Here's a little hint, Casada. When the only way for your story to actually work, you have to basically have your main characters. Not your peripheral characters, not your supporting characters, not your guest stars. Thanks for having me, by the way.
Thanks for coming.
Exactly. If the only way for your story to work is to have the main characters act in a manner that is completely and utterly contradictory to the way they have acted for close to 40 years worth of comic book continuity, then guess what? Your story is wrong.
It fails. It reeks. It stinks. It sucks. It absolutely just is an abomination. And it is, and not only do the fans deserve better, but Spider-Man deserves better as a character, as your flagship character, as the person you put the Marvel brand name on. He is the first person that people think of when they think Marvel. He deserves better. We deserve better as fans. Not only that, as fellow writers, we deserve better.
So, I'd say we've just about done all the cons of this particular comic, and here's a rhetorical question for you right away. Were there any pros?
Well, that's all the time we have for Way or No Way, Sins of O.M.I.T. I want to thank Dante for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. Oh, God. You know what I want to do?
What do you want to do?
I want to take a little page from the classic novel Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury and burn these to freaking cinders.
I completely agree.
Yeah. And then I want to get Joe Quesada and I want to bury him alive in a landfill of nothing but the issues of this and the issues of O.M.I.T.
Yeah. And to be honest, I'm not even sure if that's even good enough for him.
No.
I mean, death is too good.
Yeah. Quesada, there's a special place in hell reserved for you for what you've done. Mephisto will be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll probably be asking, so you're telling people that a red-headed, whiny little twat is smarter than me?
Yeah.
Bring Hitler's punishment.
Yeah.
For those of you who watched Little Nicky, you'll get the reference.
Yeah. So it may not be enough, but I'm just, for right now, I will feel so much better once I do this.